87% of people fail their goals because the world misunderstands learning at a primal level. This isn't about school or memorization. This is about hacking your box of truths to reprogram your opinions, rewire your decisions, and start achieving literally anything you want. Learning has two aspects to it: theory and action. Theory is knowledge. Think of it as the map to the treasure chest. Action is applying this knowledge to the real world, which is basically not just staring at the map, but actually getting there. But here's the trap. Your box of truths is built on invisible rules. Let's dissect exactly how knowledge works and why most people's boxes self-destruct. Knowledge is everything you can know. Every concept is made of smaller concepts. Learning theory can be divided into two steps. 1. Knowing new information. 2. Deciding if it's true or not. For example, if you believe studying more guarantees better grades, then by accepting that as fact, you've just added a theoretical truth to your growing repository. When you are learning, you are labeling things as true or false. Repeating this gets you a box of truths. Keep on learning, and you will add, remove, and change truths in your little box. When you were younger, you accepted everything as true, so learning just meant knowing new information. Later on, you removed the truth about Santa existing and added the one about tax returns. How much you know about something will affect the way you learn it. But here's where most people fail. Your box of truths has a hidden trap. Let's expose the two phases of learning: superficial and deep. Superficial learning is when you start off not knowing anything about the subject. If that's the case, soak up information like a sponge in a bathtub full of facts, without deciding if it's true or not. Just try to build your box of truths while understanding the relationship between one another. After a while, your box of truths is no longer a box. It's a treasure chest. But here's the dangerous part. Your box of truths is now a minefield. Here comes deep learning, where you become a lie detector, hunting the Santa Claus truths hiding in your treasure chest. There are two types of deep learning: internal and external. Internal learning means you're learning by yourself. You're the captain of your ship, navigating the stormy seas of knowledge with nothing but your box of truths as your compass. You will first need a goal, something you want to learn. For example, getting better grades at school. Then you will ask questions, orienting you to your goal. The questions you ask are more important than the answers you seek. For example, what am I doing wrong is a question that leads to an answer, cannot be converted into action yet. However, if you ask, how can I get better? This question will lead you to an answer that can be converted into action. If you want to get better grades, you should ask yourself questions that orient you to your goal. For example, why am I getting bad grades? After that, you will answer these questions by yourself. You will answer based on your box of truth, aka your common sense. This will give you a possible truth. For our example, these could be the answers. It's as often recommended to repeat as many times as needed these two steps to get deeper into the subject. As you loop through this process, refining your questions, sharpening your answers, you're not just circling around, you're spiraling upwards, gaining altitude and perspective with each pass. This iterative process, this relentless quest for self-improvement, is what learning is all about. At the end, you would end up with these answers, aka possible truths. But if you think something is true, it is often hard to actually be sure of it. Untested truths are time bombs. Physical testing converts maybe to muscle memory. It's theory leading into reality. So you have to test those possible truths. There are two types of tests: theoretical test and physical test. The theoretical test is when you don't participate in the test physically. You don't have to move an inch, just let the world be your lab. Your possible truth is your filter, and you're watching life unfold, asking, does this prove my theory? If reality consistently lines up with your hypothesis, congratulations. Your possible truth graduates to your box of truths. But theoretical tests can trick you into false confidence. This is where the physical test enters. The physical test is the action part of learning. Dust off that lab coat because it's time to get your hands dirty. Action consists of physically interacting with a theoretical truth you learned. It's where theory meets reality head on. This is about transforming your conscious efforts into unconscious habits, from short memory to long-term memory. If you want to get better grades, and the possible truth are these, then the action is you doing it. The last step in our model is to add, change, or delete truths. If action reveals your possible truth is indeed true, you add it to your box. When you change a truth, it is deleted and replaced by a new one. Truths are not immortal. They can and should be challenged, refined, or even discarded in the face of new evidence. Be open to changing your truths. Here's the reality check. The older you get, the more your box of truths feels like a vault, secured with locks and guarded by dragons. Here lies the secret to eternal wisdom. Keep questioning, and remember that the most powerful truths are those willing to evolve. In the grand quest for knowledge, it's the journey, not the destination, that shapes the scholar. The second type of deep learning theory is external learning. It's when you are not using your own box of truth to answer the questions, but an outside source, like ChatGPT or your teacher. Now, when you've finished learning the theoretical aspect of something, explain it with your own words. If you can't, you don't understand it. So focus on what you can't explain and dive back in, armed with more questions, seeking more truths, ready to test them all over again. So let's summarize quickly. Learning has two aspects: theory and action. Theory is knowledge. Action is doing something with it. Learning theory can be scuba diving at first, then diving deep into the core of what we seek to understand. This deep dive splits into two paths: internal learning, where we generate new truths from the ones we already hold, and external learning, where we seek wisdom from the world around us. Each has a model to represent the steps you need to take to learn something. For both, there are two types of ways to test these possible truths: theoretical and physical test. Physical is action. It's a core part of learning. Action is doing physically a possible truth. You came up with deep learning theory. At its core, learning is the repetitive process of hypothesis, experimentation, and refinement. This cyclical process allows us to construct, deconstruct, and reconstruct our understanding, making our box of truths a living, evolving entity. So let us tread lightly yet boldly on the path of learning, for it is a road paved with the dreams of those who dare to question, to wonder, and to seek. And who knows? In the labyrinth of knowledge, you might just find yourself along the way.